So let's talk about the consciousness of humanity and why the way it is. So before anything, when this whole land was taken over, it was it started taking things from the natives, the indigenous people. They started raping them, destroying them. They were you need to you people need to understand that before this land got colonized, there was already a, a group of people or civilization, the indigenous people, and they already have their own practices that has nothing to do with science or religion, but it was already here, and they was already in tune with themselves and the universe. I hate to call it the universe because what you think the universe is not something that's like a multiverse or outer space type of thing. It's more like a inward, outward type of thing, as within so without. But that type of knowledge can only be received if you meditate, and that's the same type of knowledge that the indigenous people had back then before they got colonized and destroyed by the people who didn't know nothing. They just were lost in what they see third dimensionally. The Caucasians or whatever the fuck they were. Um, but yeah, there was a war back then. People had beliefs and differences, but there's always gonna be a side where there was these group of people, indigenous people, that knew the truth, and the other people who were just lost in their own biases and belief. So at some point, desires took over, and people betrayed one another. It was like it had to be some type of infiltration type of thing where people lost power. They took over their position, and now they took over the people, the land, the resources. It's a trickle down effect, like a domino effect. And ever since then, that knowledge was lost. But there's still a group of people here that knows that truth. You just need to look for it and believe in yourself that you can find it. But as much as I would say it, nobody listens. People think it is what it is, and they think that the life that they see is what it is. So there's a lot of indoctrination and mind games that have been implemented upon these people. So one thing is, you need to understand that back then, when everything was natural, people were living more holistic and in tune with nature. So their consciousness was already elevated to the point where they had understanding of as within so without, and they didn't have to indulge in the type of things that people are indulging in modern times that you see today. So of course today is going to be more chaotic and not intelligent. You see no intelligence in this type of reality, in this type of world we live in right now. Everybody's lost in whatever they got going on because the system made it that way through colonization, hundreds of thousands of years ago. So if you submit to their indoctrination and you believe that that's how far the consciousness goes in terms of intelligence and awareness, then that's the type of thing that your spirit subscribes to. That's how far your consciousness is gonna go. You're gonna think that it's impossible to be smarter than the authority that provided you the intelligence. But they came from the same space that we all came from as spirits. So if you think they're smarter than you, then that's the space you're in as a spirit. you have no willpower or motivation to think that you're capable of achieving a higher consciousness. So, of course, you're going to subscribe to their indoctrinations and their beliefs because it makes sense. But you need to understand that religion and science and whatever indoctrination, it's only a portion of the truth. The indigenous people, the natives that used to, be part of this land, they already know the truth, and it's spiritual. It has nothing to do with science and religion, because it's deeper than that. So the way they made the system is toxic. Like the food that they provide you, that shit is lowering your consciousness. So of course you're not gonna achieve new neurons and pathways where you can have a train of thought, where you can find something new within yourself or believe in yourself. Your magic is debilitated. I guess I could say that, but that goes with a lot of things. It's like social peer pressure, social indoctrination, too many cultural division, too many way of lives, when in reality we all have the same, we all came from the same space, and that space is God. So that's how you know everybody is lost and nobody knows nothing. Everybody's divided and lost, and they let a system rule their existence. So in actuality, no matter how much you pray to God or how much you're in a religion, your true God is a system, because they provide you that religion and that science. So you can't serve two masters. If you're in a religion and you believe in God, that's the system. You wouldn't know what a religion is if the system didn't implement that religion. Do you get it? So you can't serve two masters. You can't work for a system that's destroying reality, poisoning people, not fixing the situation, and at the same breath you're saying thank God, because they're providing you this money that you're working for with the system. That makes no sense. That's backwards, and that's just not intelligent. But you need to start having this train of thought. You need to start thinking, because that's how you open new pathways of expanding your consciousness. But at the same time, you need to stop eating the food that they're eating, because it's dimming and debilitating your life force and your consciousness. And the things that you digest, you have to go a little bit deeper. The knowledge, the Sagittarius energy experience, Jupiter, you have to go deeper. You have to have that belief, that magic belief, that same belief you have in yourself when it comes to, grounding, having stability, and taking care of yourself and the people around you. That's easy, but you need to have a deeper belief to finding the truth, because God has nothing to do with that. It's just part of it. So let's say if you're someone that says, oh, thank God for money. God doesn't care about money. He only cares about expanding the consciousness and the intelligence of the whole being that we're in. So why would he care about money if this world is so demonic towards money? Everybody's killing themselves over money and material gain, and just dumb things. So that's how you know people are far away from God. This goes with so many topics, situations. It's just deep. So the first thing I would say is just stop eating the stuff that they're providing. If you're still eating garbage, that shit is making you sick, and that shit is lowering your consciousness. What you eat is how you see things. I used to eat all that bullshit. I used to eat Domino's, McDonald's, Popeyes, Pepsi, drinks, soda, candy, sugar, all of that crap. And I understood my consciousness back then compared to now, and I was not nowhere near close to what I am right now. I was retarded back then, amongst like everybody else right now that's not listening, because they think money and, you know, having fun is all there is. Everybody's having money. It's so easy to get money, and it's so easy to have fun, but nobody is really trying to find the whole meaning to reality or God, or coming together on some morality type of thing. Nobody is attacking the situation how they can make reality better. Everybody got used to their 9 to 5, like slave labor job, like it's normal. How can that be normal if you know you don't want to work? I know for some of you earth signs, it's more easier for you to be attached to work and be comfortable, because that you need to understand, to be practical and to think like that, it came from spirituality. It's a mentality that became dense, became fluid, and, you know, it became part of your characteristics and the way you consciously see things according to just the sun sign. I'm not getting into the other planets, that's too deep. It's not deep, it's just too much. So yeah, this goes with all the other signs. You know, a water sign might be too emotional and might not get into spirituality. It just depends if you're indoctrinated. So water signs are constantly aware of being in the vibe, being in an emotional state of you know, comfortability. So it just depends what type of spirit it is. A fire sign might only see what's ahead of them, you know, going after the vision, the spark, the future. They might not be worried about spirituality, but all these things came from spirituality. You wouldn't be that type of person if it wasn't for the shit that we're kicking, that spiritual shit, astrology, that deep astrology. What else? Air signs. They might overthink too much, you know, they might think their biases is what it is, you know. It's that simple. But yeah, I guess that's all I have to say.